I can honestly say our entire summer, we've had a social justice summer.
My mom has been really involved in teaching me my history, but this year in particular, she has gone a little way up.
Their father is much better equipped because he grew up as a black male in the South.
This is happening in your lifetime.
It is very scary because I know that could happen to me.
So he spent 2 weeks from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. just talking about what is the state of black men in America.
My brain is on the verge of explosion.
Is this it?
Yep.
This Northeast D.C. family does more than just talk to their son Kai about racial injustice in America. Satira Corbett says there's a different lesson at home every day.
But making sure they know the lesson, to make sure they always have their receipt before they leave so nobody can stop them and accuse them of stealing anything. Having to teach them, at this age is, it's daunting.
So daunting, they wanted help outside these walls and took a big risk. We met the Corbetts earlier this year when talking about their daring decision to send Kai to a startup school in Southeast D.C. One reason, a history course.
I think as much as it's history, it's also character building.
How many bones do a human have?
206. We spent months at Statesmen College Preparatory Academy before COVID-19 put an end to in-person learning. This public charter school opened in late 2018 with a culture and curriculum customized for boys of color. Students had the usual English and science courses, but history isn't taught by the book. It's the full picture, and they call it Kings 101.
We're trying to teach them to value themselves.
The school's founder, Sean Hartnett, says black boys often go too long without learning their full story because it's been erased from mainstream U.S. history courses.
When I was in college, taking black history for the first time, and that's what was, and all of a sudden, this was alive. It was in front of me. This thing was real.
Now it's real for these 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. In Kings 101, Black history is standard the entire school year, from topics on wealthy African empires to examining laws deliberately passed in the U.S. for decades to keep black communities from thriving.
Well, Mr. Bethia, he will teach us from the beginning of African history to slavery to the Civil War.
The first image of a man who looked like me that I saw in my history book was a man in chains on his knees. This way, ready? What does that do to a black kid who sees that, right? Who looks at a man in chains as a man who looks like him and sees a man who may not look like him as a king.
This school is practically a throne, and students are immersed in images of black royalty, including poster-sized portraits of themselves.
They will be awarded with the king of the day. That means they get a crown, and they get to wear it from the moment they get it in my class to the end of the day to the next day of class. So basically, they get to be the king of their cohort for 24 hours.
Statesman is the only school in the Washington area offering this type of class year-round for students. Public charter schools have greater flexibility when it comes to charting their course. Right now, most large public school districts in the region are reassessing how black history is taught following this national conversation on racial inequities, including in the classroom.
Who do you protect? Who do you protect?
Hartnett admits they've had to do the same, first because of virtual learning.
Interactions, the conversational interactions, not the same.
Nothing is the same. This current movement for racial equality also forced teachers to plunge into tough topics and conversations sooner.
What happened with George Floyd became the opportunity, right, to actually bring that forward. Parents wanted us to talk about it, kids wanted us to talk about it, and they're 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Like, these are heavy concepts.
We started talking about if a police walked up to you, if we should just put our hands up and be calm or just put them up real fast. And he said, put your hands up slowly and tell the cop, like, I'm gonna put my hands up slowly.
Although virtual learning has complicated their mission, Hartnett says Kings 101 has brought them all closer together, especially parents, some who may have never had this lesson.
But when we were having those conversations, parents were sitting on the couch with their kid next to them, listening and engaging in that conversation.
I feel like I've changed, like it's always swimming around my mind.
Meanwhile, for Kai, even though these lessons have been a staple at home and school, he says because of recent real-world events, it's all starting to make sense. Kind of.
When I grow up, I may do more and more to stop this, if it's not stopped already before I grow up.